Don't bust my balls, please.
I have mission control in my office now. I got 2 computers, 2 big screens, all for this going live stuff.
It's a lot to learn, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how Joe does it so quick and he gets right onto it. I sit here, I feel like an idiot.
Have you hopped over to Twitch yet?
I start tonight.
Oh, yeah? Cool. That's cool. We've been on Twitch for a while. I just don't get any numbers off of it. But I try to weed myself off of Facebook because, like, Facebook is just, it's garbage.
So I have a program that I can go to both now. But I'm going to eventually just transfer right over to Twitch.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see here. Give me 1 second and we'll be going here. Oh, that's not it. Stupid computer day. There it is. Why is this breaking? Let's try this again. One more thing. Boom, boom. Post. Are you good to go? All right, buddy. Good. About time. Okay. I'm going to go on the intro, and I'll see you in a second.
All right. Sounds good.
Disruption Networks.
It's Blur's Day here at the D. How are you? Join along on all Disruption Network social media platforms. Shout out to my sponsors. First and foremost, EJA Moving Services. When it's time to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his crew at ejamoving.com or give them a call today at 315-735-0516. I don't know. I am beyond stupid computer day today. I'll tell you, I'm having that kind of a day. But give Eddie and the boys a shout today when you're ready to move and relocate. If you want to move your studio, your grandmother, your whatever, you need to move something, have EJA and the boys over there do it for you. Also, shout out to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. Give him a call today if you need legal advice, 315-735-6162. Also, much love to Utica Coffee and Saranac Brewery. Thank you. If not for my sponsors, this podcast does not exist. So thank you to all the sponsors for all the love and the support of Disruption Network and EC Radio and all the content that we have here at the D. Joining me.
I lost the audio.
How about now?
There he is.
There he is. I'm having stupid computer day today, Bill. I don't know what the hell's going on.
That's every day over here. I started doing all this streaming stuff. There's something new I'm learning every day.
I know, dude. I feel like you need a PhD nowadays to do this live streaming stuff. You can't just click record.
Not anymore. That's why you always got to have a guy.
You need a guy.
You got to have a guy.
I have a guy too, but my guy's not around today. He's doing other things.
My guy does this magic where he he gets into my computer from his house.
Right, mine too.
I don't ask.
We all got that guy. I don't either, man. I have no idea when it comes to, technically I look like I know what I'm doing on the computer, but I have no idea what the hell I'm doing on any of this stuff.
I'm right with you.
You're right with me, brother. It's good to see you, man. Let me tell you, throughout all this crap, the Corona coaster that we're going through, I feel like you've managed to stay relevant, if you will. Staying out there, playing your gigs, doing your things. Talk a little bit about how are you staying relevant, even though you've lost maybe a third of your gigs?
Yeah, more than this. It's probably almost like a half. But you wait for the right time, and I think that's what's I didn't push for anything. I kind of let it come to me when everything started opening up. But I think the groundwork was made when everything shut down, and I just started doing. Every week I was on Facebook, keeping up, getting knowing people, getting to talk to people, just giving something for them to pass a couple hours with, and that really helped. That really helped a lot. Getting right on top of it. I mean, first night was iPhone in front of us, kind of thing.
Right.
And then it builds into this. I had the time. I got my office all squared away. I've got cameras all over the place now, and it's cool that people that listen. I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. I play other people's songs. I love playing other people's songs, and if people want me to come out and see me play other people's songs, I think it's the greatest thing in the world.
Have you ever wrote music before?
I actually am in the process right now of finishing up a solo record. I'm going to come out with it all at once. You're going to hear them all. I'm going to do a night where you're just going to hear the whole thing, and that's going to be my first dive into it. It's either going to be good or really bad. I don't think there's going to be any middle ground with this one.
Is it a full band or is it acoustic or?
Nope, just me and a guitar.
Just you and a guitar. Beautiful.
Me and a guitar.
Now, was some of these songs written throughout pandemic, or were they something you've had in the bank for a while?
I've had notebooks of stuff that I jot down through the years, and I just never had the time, and I think most of it I never had the balls. Is a good word for it. To guys like Joe Altier and those guys, they put out great songs. I've never done it before, so I was always leery, but I'm going to let it fly, and I think some of the concepts are good, and I'm ready to go with it. Nice,
very cool. What inspires you to write, or what did inspire you to write some of this?
Life. It's the main thing. The last 8 years of my life has just been a roller coaster. Divorce, kid, fiance, pandemic, weight gain, weight loss, depression, anxiety. My father dying. It's just these last 8 years has just been like I put what somebody normally puts in for a lifetime. I put them in the last 8 years, so that's given me the drive to write.
Man, you do look great too. You've lost a lot of weight. How much have you lost so far?
I don't step on a scale because of my anxiety. My anxiety would make me like, oh no. So I've gone from, and for a long time, I was never really open with, I was wearing a 5 extra large t-shirt at one time. I'm back down to a 2-3X, which is, to me, I was a 2X in my freshman year of high school. I've always been a big boy, but I just started eating right. And that's all. I just started eating right. And the one main thing is I feel like $1 million.
Awesome.
And that's really that's what's driven me. I have this is by my side every day. My water jug.
What's it, timed and stuff? You're halfway there.
Yeah, it tells you. It gives you encouragement throughout the day.
I love that.
Covacure, $8 on Amazon.
It's
that's
good though.
By my side.
When you start feeling good, and then it all triggers down, it aligns your chakras a little bit. Do you agree?
Yep. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's all about. And I've done. I didn't do it alone. I have a health and wellness coach, and the mind stuff and the meditation and the taking the time out and just breathing is so pivotal in this thing, because when you start getting, I have a hair trigger sometimes. If something triggers me off, I'm out. It's off to the races. And just stopping and breathing just makes you feel so much better to not have that anxiety and that hate and that anger. And that's what now is I'm working on more than the diet. I got the diet thing down. I love what I'm eating. I'm proud to say I'm a vegan. I don't eat any junk anymore. I've cut down on alcohol about 50%. And so now I can focus on what my mind registers. I do meditation at night. I just sit there with headphones on and listen to Dr. Joe is the guy that I listen to. And it takes me into a place where I've never been before. And I think a lot of that now, more in the past 4 months or so, I've had more ideas come in my head than I have. I've like unlocked something in my head. I remember stuff more now. That was the worst thing. I could, for probably till I was like 30, 35, I could listen to a song 2 times, know the lyrics, good, gone. Now it's like, I can't remember songs that I've sang for 10 years. It was weird, but now it's kind of opening all that stuff up again.
Muscle memory's a crazy thing, though. It's a real thing, too. You know, it definitely is. That's awesome, though. Once you start feeling good about yourself, you get out there, you change your mindset a little bit. All good things happen after that. It just kind of all falls into place. You know, the one thing I've noticed, too, is a lot of people have changed their mindset throughout this Corona coaster. You know, at first, everybody was just out drinking a lot and just partying. And I'm speaking for myself, too, but I've seen it, too, throughout, like, my circle of people. And now people are starting to hit this health cycle, which is super important now, because you're realizing that there is a virus out there, that you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your family and your friends. And it's important, especially at our age, Bill. I mean, it's very important to take care of your health. I want another 40 on this earth, you know?
Those numbers are going up. They're not going down.
Exactly. No, it's super important nowadays at our age, too, to take care of your health, take care of your mindset, and take care of, the way you feel about yourself. Very important.
And the weirdest thing is I live literally directly right across the street from McDonald's. Like, I open my door and all I smell are French fries.
Yeah.
And that plays, that played a big part into the beginning. So like when we were shut down, it was craft beers that are 300-400 calories a beer. Mm-hmm. It was, being stoned at midnight, running across the street, getting 20 chicken McNuggets. Yeah. Now it's just a whole different mindset. It's almost like a game where every day I'm planning out what I'm going to eat, what time I'm going to eat. It's really eye opening.
It really is, man. What about meditation? You talk about you meditate. Did it take you a while to learn how to meditate, or was it something you picked up right away?
I learn every week.
Yeah.
I'm distracted very easily still with it. It's something that I just have to take a hold of. And I have to go with it, and I have to trust it. It's one of those things you have to trust. Mm-hmm. And at first, when you start this new thing, even when they said, "Oh, we're going to go a plant-based diet," I'm like, "Oh boy." Some of my best friends are vegans, but it's the way your mindset is. If you open your mind to this stuff, and once I did, I start picking it up more and more and more.
Is it hard to shut your brain off?
It's the worst to shut my brain off.
Yeah.
Because I've got, I got a kid, I've got a fiance, I've got a dog, I've got a house, I got a car payment, I got this, I got that. I have to find the middle ground where it's time to shut it off and just focus on myself for once. And I don't want to sound like I'm, selfish or anything.
No.
But I need just that hour, it's me. It's all for me.
Yep, exactly. And you have to take care of yourself. You do. It starts with you first.
It's so important.
It's also like if you love yourself, you can give love out even more so, correct?
Yes. That's in learning how to love. Mm-hmm. Your way of loving is different from my way of loving. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn how to love and look. It starts with yourself, and then it radiates out to the people around you.
How crazy is this? Like 10 years ago, we're talking sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And now here we are talking about meditating and plant-based diets and shit.
Let's go to the Lost, man. Now I don't want to leave the house.
Yeah, let's go. Like now I reflect back to the first time we ever hung out with on that Steel Panther bus, and like what a mess I was on that trip. And then
I didn't get home till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, didn't that cause the divorce for you? That trip?
Close. That was the beginning of the end.
That was the nail in the coffin for that one. But now here, we were just like sex, drugs, and rock and roll back then, and now here we are talking about plant-based diets and exercising and health, and it's crazy and what a 180
DDP yoga.
We did. Yeah.
DDP yoga.
Are you doing DDP
That's what
yoga?
I do.
Really?
20 minutes a day. If I get it in 20 minutes a day.
I've always been interested in it because I'm a big wrestling fan as well. Diamond Dallas Page is a legend in the wrestling industry, and he created this own yoga. Take me through the steps of that. Like, what exactly are you doing in that yoga program?
So I take week by week, and I do a different lesson every week. So I kind of go up a rung. And the first few months were more like training courses, if I could say that, training courses, and then you start getting into it. And as the mark that I am, just watching DDP, and he's so positive, and he's so, it gets you through it. And it's literally you're doing downward dog, you're doing, the cobra, it's all the stuff in yoga, but with like an attitude.
Gotcha.
And I felt the difference after the first week just bending over.
Mm-hmm.
If I drop something or getting down on the ground, I just, boom. You just feel that it really is amazing how well it works.
Did you write him a testimonial and let him know that it's changing your life?
I've emailed him a couple times. I haven't returned. He hasn't returned my email yet. I'm not on that, Ron. I'm not on that Chris Jericho, Mick Foley.
Have you ever met DDP?
I have met a couple times at signings and stuff. WrestleMania weekend once. He was at the Access thing, and that was I think the first time I met him. And he exudes positivity. He just exudes it.
Mm-hmm. And he's an intense guy too.
Wicked intense.
Yeah. Can you give
talk your ear off too?
Give me a Diamond Cutter banger.
And that's what actually it's actually one of the moves. You go back. And you arch your back, and you go bang, and you bring it, and it's all tense. You have to your whole muscles are tense while you're doing it. It's incredible.
Are you doing it at the end for like the finisher?
It's beginning, middle, and end. Yep.
So
the last thing he does is that and bang, and then you're sore the next day.
You don't
know why, because you just I'm always banging.
I love that, man. No, I've always been interested in it just to see what he's done. And I've seen what he's done to Scott Hall and Jake the Snake Roberts and Mick Foley. He's changed these lives. And Chris Jericho is doing it every day on his tour. But not now that he's touring now, but they're still out there doing it like religiously.
Yeah, and you could see, especially with guys like Chris Jericho and Mick Foley and Scott Hall. He keeps going in and out of sobriety, but
does he?
I mean, yeah, he just had another relapse not too long ago.
Oh, geez.
But with Chris, look at him. He's on a high level on television at 50 years old. Remember when Hogan was in his 30s and we were like, "Who's that old man?"
Right. Seriously.
When he was in WCW, he was in his 30s. Imagine that. One of the top stars in WWE right now is 43 years old, AJ Styles.
That's crazy.
And when we were watching Nitro and Raw, those guys were that age was those were the fossils.
Fossils, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. Fossils.
Yeah.
Man, the longevity with some of these wrestlers, it's amazing with all the bumps and bruises they take, but they could still go on and on. I mean, shit, how old was Ric Flair in his last match with Shawn Michaels?
He just took a bump. He took a bump a couple weeks ago on Raw.
Did he?
He was on Raw taking bumps. 70 years old, the hospital, half dead.
It's unbelievable.
No, you'll never see guys like him, though, ever again. You'll never see guys like him ever again.
You're right. That's the one thing that's missing from wrestling. Like, Ric Flair would go hour-long matches every freaking night, 300 times a year. It's sometimes twice a day.
Twice a day. Yep. Sundays, he would run twice, and he's 60 minutes in a ring. And Ric Flair was no rest hold guy.
Right.
He was when you're wrestling Ricky Steamboat, you're not resting.
Right. It's nonstop, and those were some of the best matches of all time.
And the trilogy in the end of the 80s is just three of the best matches of all time.
Oh, for sure.
And then it culminated at that. What was that? The Clash of the Champions was the last one, I think. There was just it's you'll never see that again. You'll never see that kind of. You got 8-minute matches on Raw. That's what you get now.
What do you think? What do you think AJ Styles does to just keep it going at his age? I mean,
it's got to be it really is diet these days.
Yeah.
All these guys preach diet. I'm on a couple Facebook boards with like guys like Matt Cardona, which is Zack Ryder, and Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins. I'm on their Major Wrestling Figure podcast board, and those guys are always talking about how they're eating all the time and what they eat and what they consume and just how tuned in they in. And that's kind of the way I'm doing it. But there's no way I'm getting it ever into a ring, ever. I did the UWA thing in the '90s, and that was it. Bombshell Billy and I, we now sit around the fire and sing instead of kill each other.
I love it. I love it. You know, Stevie Richards comes to mind right now. He's a guy that looks way better now than he ever has.
And he's a fitness guy now.
And he's a fitness guy. That's
what he does now. He's got a program out.
It's crazy. It's amazing to me, like how these guys just continue to do their thing, and they're out there taking their bumps and bruises, and they're still the longevity. It's what it is.
Look at those ECW guys. Those guys are all messed up.
They are. Yeah. And you feel bad for some of these guys. You see them walking, and they can't even move. Like Foley, how many bumps and bruises that dude has fallen off cages and got thrown off. Just so many different things. He's got put through cages. Yeah.
Ears missing.
Have you ever met,
for the love of the sport.
Have you ever met Mick Foley?
All for the love of the sport. I have.
Have you?
Sweet guy.
Yeah.
Went to one of his comedy things once.
Okay.
Same thing with Jake. Jake the Snake, great guy. Great guy.
Now Jake hasn't have a relapse, has he? Or is he still on the straight
I don't think so. He's on TV now. He's back on TV. He's managing one of the guys in AEW, Lance Archer.
Oh, wow.
And it works out great because he brings that psychology. He brings that Jake the Snake to this, Lance Archer's 6'8", 6'9", brick house dude.
Yeah.
And they put that together, and actually, it's one of my favorite things. And I'm not that huge into a lot of what's AEW is doing because a lot of it's the flippity floppity, cartoony stuff. But when you get down to the guys like that, and you get the revivals now in AEW, and that's the old school wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as old school wrestling anymore. That's the problem.
It's a shame. You got to go back into the archives on the network to watch all that.
Yep. Which is now I have. Part of the office, the toy room here, I have a DVD player still in here now, and I have my old I transferred all my old videotapes onto DVD.
Oh wow!
So I have like the unedited broadcasts of like superstars from the 80s and 90s. I have all the old pay-per-views with none of the music messed with the stuff. So I've been starting to do that now, watching stuff in here while I'm working.
Yeah, because before they put it on the network, they had to remaster a lot of that stuff, huh?
And they took out a lot of the music because the guy that was the guy who wrote it's not in WWE anymore, and he's got the rights to it. So
Jim Johnson,
you can't get like Demolition. Jim Johnson, you can't get Demolition's theme music. You don't hear that anymore. There's a lot of them.
Wow, no doubt. I didn't know that, man. See, you're...
And that was the big part of the '80s. That the theme music, that was the big thing. When you heard Hogan, boom, pop, Road Warriors, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But that's basically what wrestling is now. Wrestling is the entrance and the exit.
It really is. It's so big. What do you think of the product that's going on right now throughout this Corona coaster?
With the hand they're dealt with, they're doing a good job. It's a lot better now with that Thunderdome thing.
I love that, the underground stuff.
But when there was no audience, it was just
brutal. Yeah,
just weird because you got wrestlers working the crowd like they're at it was weird. But now this Thunderdome, it's kind of cool. I've actually tried to register and get in on it once or twice.
So what are the wrestlers seeing? Is that like a green screen that they're seeing that everybody's coming up on as far as a screen, or they're actually seeing people sitting in their houses?
They're seeing what we see at home. I think they're LED screens.
Okay.
It's like a big Titantron but broken up.
Okay, I gotcha. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and it probably helps. Some of this canned audience sounds is really cheesy and whatnot, but
so bad.
Whatever you need to do to keep, because I imagine it's just like you too, dude. When you're playing in front of an iPhone and those guys are taking bumps, it's got to feel so flat when there's no energy coming from anything. Yep. There's nothing like a live audience.
that's my only gripe with. I love playing. I'll play every day. I'll sing in front of an iPhone if I have to every day. But it's the interaction with people that I that's what I thrive off of when I play solo and with Scars. Even more with Scars. That's just. But when I play solo, it's I want the requests, sing along, let's do it, and you kind of. So now I have my fiance that I kind of, joke around with while during it, and we make a kind of thing. I don't like to go in organized. I did Tim Moyer's live thing, the wind down. He's so organized. I got there. I'm like, this is too organized for me. You got a set list. I said, let's just go. Let's just do it.
Costume changes.
He's got costume changes. Songs about Matt.
Yeah. I love it, man. No, Moyer's doing a great job with his wind down, man. And kudos
and that's
to him.
The thing. He's one of my guys that I turn to when I need some. Him, Mike Tripoli, who used to work at the Turning Stone Casino as a sound guy there. He's the guy that dials in, and I ask him to do something. These guys are. These are the guys that's what heaven's for, are these guys.
Yeah, indeed. And Joe Altieri, you got to mention Joe too.
Oh, and Joe, yeah. Joe's that's not even. He's the top of the rung.
He really is. He really is.
You go to him when you go to him when you can't get the guys underneath to help you. You go to the Don Altieri.
I love that. That's hysterical.
And he always responds. His phone's always on. He's just it's very. The guys that are successful because they don't have the ego. They want to help out. They want to make the scene better. Right. Because if they make it better, then it's better for them. So then that's the mindset I have too. I try to, anybody asks me anything, I'll help them as much as I can. Yeah, but I'm still learning. I'm the young guy really in this doing this for a living. I've only been doing it for 4 or 5 years. I've been doing it for a long time, but just this whole, straight on music thing. So,
yeah, Joe was ahead of the curve too. He was doing it way before we got in this lockdown, and Joe was out there going live all the time, playing a song or two, and so he was definitely ahead of the curve. And I got so much love for that dude. It's not even funny.
And I used to be like, why does he ever rest? Why didn't he rest? Now I know why. Now I know why.
Yeah, he works his ass off for sure. You brought up Scars and Stripes. Now you guys got a Halloween party going on with Scars. Talk about details on that.
Yeah, so we've been lucky throughout lockdown. We've had a place to play. We were playing at Sharky's at least once a month during when everything was not the way it's supposed to be, and everybody was cool the way he did it. Everybody was sitting down. We had a great crowd every time, but we're not going to be able to play inside with the capacity issues. So we're trying to figure out how can we, like you said earlier, stay relevant, stay on people's minds. So as Joe did back and I did, we did this thing for a drive-in. It was a benefit for Heal. And I went into Subcat and I played 5 or 6 tunes, studio, video, the whole thing. And it was like, this is the greatest thing ever. So I decided to do one solo myself, and I said, we got to do Scars for this. So we're going to Subcat Studios on Halloween night, and we're going to do a full show. We've learned, I would say 75% of our set list is stuff that nobody's heard us do before.
Oh, cool.
So you're not hearing the same old tunes that we've been playing the last 10 years. If I can have a little bit of a spoiler, the songs have a lot to do with the Halloween ambiance. So you're going to hear stuff like Number of the Beast, and you're going to hear Shout at the Devil.
Nice.
You're going to hear stuff like that, stuff that we haven't done before. Live, professionally shot, professional audio, right to your house. Get your Halloween parties together. Have everybody come over to your house. Booze up. You don't have to go anywhere, and you got us for entertainment.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about getting a DWI. You can get drunk at the comfort of your own home and rock out the Scars and Stripes, man. That's awesome. That's the way the world is going right now. And I think live streaming is going to stick around for a while. Even after the Corona Coaster is over with and we get off the ride, I think that live streaming is always going to be here, and the whole couch tour. Do you agree, or what do you think about that?
I think it's something that I'm planning on doing, even if it's not for as long as I can. Because it gives you the opportunity to, on days that you might not play, to still and especially, and I'll use it especially when I'm starting to do my own stuff and getting my own stuff out there, because you can just get it out to more of a wide audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I never ever had the mindset, especially late in life, that I want to, go out and play amphitheaters on a week, and I never had that. My whole mindset, I always kept it close, is what can I do to feed my family, pay the bills, be happy. I don't need that. Not saying I wouldn't take it, but I don't need that national out there. I just want to be able to pay my bills and be able to say I was able to do it for a long period of time and pay my bills and be called a professional musician. That's really all I could ask for.
Yeah. Was Scars the first band you ever were in, or what were you in before?
No, I started way back. I was in a small band called Pretense. This was like 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It's a classic rock cover band. Then I spent a lot of time in the early 2000s to mid 2000s doing a lot of theater. I was doing regional and local theater. Then it was time to get back in. And I was in a band called Dirty Little Secret with a few local guys. And then I was asked by a band called Decree to fill in. Bob Wheeler was their singer. You know Bob Wheeler. He's one of the guys who was did it here long before any of us.
Yeah. And
that was kind of my first of that was the bigger that got the bigger places. And then I met Todd and Joel from Scars, and that was kind of the end. And I don't ever see myself playing without Joel. I never saw myself really playing without Todd too, but everybody's still friends. He went on a different way. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I got one of the best bands in town. I think I got some of the best players in town, some of the nicest guys in town, and I've got Rick Caparco and Jerry from Under the Gun that played for so many years. I got their years behind it, and what a trip Rick is.
So is Jerry. They're both trips.
It's and it's so cool because everybody gets along. We have a great time doing it. And this is, we've been practicing at least every other week since we could get in a room together, just so we can keep our chops up.
Rick is one of the funniest dudes I know.
Funniest dude ever.
Yeah, he's hysterical.
He'll look like he'll kill you, and he'll say the worst shit in the world about you.
Yeah,
but he'll do anything for you. He's a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pickup, though, getting JT and Rick on board. Under the Gun.
It kind of all happened at once.
They're kind of legendary Syracuse musicians, in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, we're not trying to there's only ever going to be one Under the Gun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's even talks that they're coming in next year, doing like a little reunion thing next year, and I can't wait. I mean, those were some of the best nights of my life were Thursday nights at Bennigan's. When they were rocking Bennigan's, you couldn't move, or the Inner Harbor where you couldn't move.
Yeah,
we had our own rock stars right here in Central New York.
We did, man. That's the one thing I love about the camaraderie of the Syracuse musicians in Utica too. It's like, it's not really a competitive thing anymore. It's a brotherhood, and now it's become.
Yeah,
a brotherhood.
We help each other. Mm-hmm. One of my best friends is in 3 Inch Fury. Mm-hmm. Tim's a great friend of mine. Yep. And then that's 3 Inch Fury and Gridley's almost the same band and everything. But we all sit around, bust each other's balls, help each other get gigs. We want to play with each other more than anything. Since it's when we were doing Burger Battle and Wing Fest and all those, we got to play together. That was the best part. That wasn't working. That was going out and partying and hanging out with your friends and getting to play.
Yeah, a lot of collaborations went on too back then.
Yeah,
everybody getting up playing with each other.
Yeah, that's one thing, and it kind of stinks now because with Corona and everything, microphone has always been open for me. If you with all the singers, that's you might even see some of that on Halloween with us too. So
do you, when somebody comes up and sings with you, do you tell them to bring their own mic?
I just kind of like we kind of put it on hiatus for now, but I go everywhere with my own. When I'm doing things where there's multiple bands or their own PA, but that's something I've always done because I didn't want to get sick anyways.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can come. Just bring your own mic.
Just bring your own mic. It's funny how that works out, but stay safe that
way. During the first bulk of lockdown, I knew one person personally that had corona. Now, since the fall's come around, I know personally I've had friends in the ICU, both fine now. Hopefully, there won't be any long-lasting effects from it. But it's scary. I want to work,
absolutely,
but I also have to stay safe because I have a kid. I have her grandmother's failing. My mother's gone through 3 rounds of breast cancer. I don't want to get anybody sick.
Mm-hmm. No, that's you gotta. People need to realize too. It's not about a self thing. It's not. We can beat it at our age. So we can beat it, but you got to worry about the older generation and the kids. And it's not. You can't be selfish about this thing. You got to protect each other.
And I don't buy into the whole. Well, there were 81. Listen, if there wasn't that corona there, they'd be 82.
Exactly.
So I don't buy into that. I think we should. Especially protect the ones that made our place for us.
Yeah. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, we all want to get back to work, but we also want to. But what the heck? Your toy room's falling apart.
That was one of the. Remember the Gemini back in 2000 era? The Gemini.
I do not.
Jake and Jesse Gemini. He just took a bump off the shelf, and he took out a couple Funkos.
Does your toy room come alive when you're not in it? Kind of like Toy Story?
It does. I'll come in here and there'll be figures on the ground, and I'll be like, "Uh-oh,
what happened in here?"
Andy's home.
Bill, I gotta ask. In the back on the wall there, is that Star Wars the band picture?
It is.
It is. I thought so. I love that picture. Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites. It kind of brings all of what I am together. The Star Wars love and Leia's lead singer. Han is guitar player. Luke's a guitar player. Darth Vader's Gene Simmons up in the rafters with the bass. Chewie's a drummer. C-3PO is playing keyboards, and R2-D2's behind him. And then they got the Cantina guys in the audience. It's a great picture.
I love that picture.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, huge Disney fan, and now with Disney having the land of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Disney. Now they've come out with toys just specifically of characters in Disney. It's like my world's. This is the best time to be a kid.
And Mandalorian, did that come out yet, or it comes out soon?
2,
right?
No, that's soon. I got to go back and watch 1 to get ready for 2. Yeah. Great program.
Yeah,
they knocked it out of the park.
They did.
And another thing too this year. Going back in pop culture is 35th anniversary of one of the greatest movies of all time, Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the toys are now being re-released of that. So it's a whole thing. I picked up I got a Doc Funko today with Einstein.
Nice. Little Doc Brown and Einstein.
Little Doc and Einstein.
What's your most prized possession in that room? I think I asked you this before.
I think you have, and it probably changes every time. I gotta look because I love so much of it. I have a WrestleMania 3 set up in my. I have a Detolf, which is like a display, like a store display case.
Oh wow!
And it's got I have custom made risers with the old school WWF logo on it for my guys, and the front row of the Hall of Fame riser is Andre, Hogan, Steamboat, Miss Elizabeth, and Macho Man, all in their WrestleMania 3 gear.
Right on.
And I think that there is probably, I love that. And somebody made me, remember In Your House pay-per-view? The first one was in Syracuse.
Yeah, I do.
Somebody made me the set out of foam board that sits on top of my...
Are we going to get a tour?
We're going to get a tour.
I love it. Oh, wow.
And there's the WrestleMania 3 stuff.
Yep, Steamboat winning the IC strap that night, which was one of the greatest freaking matches of all time.
One of the greatest matches of all time.
Yeah.
I still watch WrestleMania 3. Like when I'm in here, I'll just throw it on. It's one of my favorites. I love the whole card. Mm-hmm. It just brings back I remember watching with my uncle at his apartment across the hall from where I lived that night, and just going, crazy when Hogan body slammed Andre.
No doubt. And then the other match that I love too from that card was Piper versus Adrian Adonis in the hair cutting match.
It's great.
That was one of the
had
greatest.
Had the comedy, had the psychology, had the guy running in the ring at the end of the match.
And those guys were like tight. They're like really good friends too.
Yes.
Piper
and that's
and
what
Adrian
he wanted
Adonis.
him to. And they wanted it. He wanted to work with Adrian for that match.
Out of all the years that you've been a wrestling fan, I've known you met a lot of wrestlers throughout the past. Give me somebody who's been really cool and somebody who's been a real dick.
Undertaker.
I
was walking out of Ground Round on 7th North Street, and this 7-foot guy is walking towards me, and I'm like, "That's the Undertaker." This had to be the night of that pay-per-view
in your house
in Syracuse. Yeah, and I'm like, "Can I get a picture?" He's like, "Hold on a second. I got to check in and I'll be right back out." And we're out there. We're bad-mouthing her. He's not coming back out. Comes right back out. Spends 10, 15 minutes with us outside.
How cool.
Signs all of our stuff. Takes pictures. Now, this is in the height of, the dead man. Kayfabe. He's wearing dark sunglasses, black do-rag, black hair, black everything. He's in character. Hung out. Was the coolest guy. Biggest dick, Sid.
Sid Vicious?
Sid, when he was working in the WWF, just didn't care. That was really one of the only ones that was that I can remember. That was, there's times that, people are eating and stuff, and I was a kid, and I'd go up to him, and, Brian Knobbs from the Nasty Boys was in character. The night I met Hulk Hogan when I was a kid, like 10, 11 years old, I met Hogan. And now looking back, knowing that the Nasty Boys and Hogan were good friends, Hogan's at a table with all the faces, with Brutus, all the guys, all the big top name faces, and then there was a table next to him, and it was Knobbs, Sags, and all the heels. And I'm leaving, and Knobbs, "Oh, you don't want our autograph?" He's doing all that stuff, and knowing what I know now, that's the way they had to do it. Now they all travel together and all that stuff, but it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, and they were all super tight too.
Super tight. Well, that was their family.
Yeah. Imagine partying with those guys back in the day. That's all they did. I mean, they wrestled, they worked out, they partied, and then they went to sleep, and they did it all over again for 300 days a year.
Slept for 4 hours and do it again. And that just doesn't happen anymore because of the advent of social media.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Facebook was around during the Flair years?
Seriously.
Can you imagine some of the stuff that you'd see? I mean, the Ric Flair stories are legendary.
Oh, yeah.
The baby's arm stories. The baby's arm was always out with Rick when he was drinking. He was always out. Always walking around with a robe on with just the title belt on.
Yeah, and then when Hacksaw and Iron Sheik got busted with weed and all that stuff like that, I know it made the papers and made national news, but if it had social media back then, they would have been ridiculed, dragged through the ringer in seconds.
It would have been and even today, even before, innocent to proven guilty, these guys are put at the stake, especially with the DWIs and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be.
It's not like it used to be. In that aspect, the wrestling's not like it used to be. They go back to the hotel room, they eat dinner in the room, they shut themselves out. They might have a couple beers at the bar, but it's not anything like it used to be.
They're more health conscious now.
And another thing, too, is the guys are a lot more accessible now with meet and greets and conventions. And even WWE has their own conventions now. And the guys are so much easier to that's why, for me, wrestling autographs today really don't. They don't, because they sign all the time.
Yeah. You think meet and greets are going to be a thing now that this coronavirus is out there? And, once we get through corona and stuff, you think people are going to be doing meet and greets like they used to? Artists, whether bands or wrestlers, either or.
Well, WWE is now doing, for their pay-per-views, for their big pay-per-views, they do virtual meet and greets. So you get like a 2-minute thing like this. You pay I think it's some insane amount of money, like $175, and you get a 2-minute meet and greet with your favorite wrestler. But there's still comic shops and stuff are still having wrestling guys come in and do signings and stuff. It's very social distance. Everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah, it's just a shame of where we're at right now, but hopefully it will come back and come back stronger than ever. What do you think? How do you think it's going to be when this is all over? You think the music scene is going to be vibrant again? You think it's going to be out more so? Or you think people are going to be a little hesitant to go out?
I think once the key is turned to say, hey, we got a vaccine, we're good, no more masks, I think you're going to see the 1987 all over again.
87, huh?
The mid-'80s were just like, that was the cream of the crop for music. I think you're getting. I don't think if you're good and you're playing, you're going to have an audience when this is over.
The Roaring '20s. You think it's going to go back to that,
where people are just partying their faces off?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I
hope so. I really hope so. For the sake of musicians and getting back out there, because they've been locked up for so damn long, and rightfully so. They deserve to get out there and create and perform.
And more importantly than us, the places.
Yeah, right. The venues.
I mean, our friend Julie, she's 443. They're suffering. They're on their knees.
Yeah, I know.
Because of, I mean, I've said it time again. I'm not that political of a person. I don't get into that stuff anymore. But some of these things, like, not being able to advertise and not selling tickets, just seems to me that's the way to curb any kind of problems. You know how many people are there. You got reservations. That's it. You're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope it comes back stronger than ever, and everybody makes a ton of money, and we're out there back to work in full swing again, and creating and writing and rocking out the music, and hopefully it comes back sooner than we think. But
I just want to go to a concert again.
Same, brother. Me too. Just
I might have something going on, but I've been toying with going to just see the Dirty Head Saturday at Beacon Skiff. Are you involved with that? Are you hanging out with those? Are you working that one, Z?
I was building the stage this past week. I was out there for the last 4 days. Yeah, my body is killing me right now.
I saw that picture, and it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
It gave me goosebumps. It really did.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Because people are getting paid.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that show. There's a bunch of delay towers and a couple of video screens going up. I mean, it's no chintzy production whatsoever. It's high volume production. It's going to be quite a show. And that venue is
full PA, right?
Full PA and 3 delay towers.
And are you going to be able to hear it in your car too?
No, that's what the delay towers are for.
So it's full. That's awesome. Very cool.
And the venue's sweet. It's where they have Apple Fest. I don't know if you've ever been out there for Apple Fest. I never have. That was the first time I've ever been on the grounds. It's gigantic. It's huge. It's such a huge venue.
I hope there's more of them.
Me too.
Hope there's more of them.
Me too. I want to see more things happen, not only at that venue, but all over the place. Like you said, from Buffalo to Rochester to Albany to Syracuse, I want to see all these venues packed once this Corona coaster's over with.
Yep, I want to feel that crowd and the live music and the amp. A lot of people don't like the amp. It's my favorite, one of my favorite places now in Central New York, because it sounds great, it looks great, it just feels good being there. I don't have to travel to go see bands now. It's 7. I take an Uber. Mm-hmm. I Uber. I'm in. Can have a little fun. Uber home. And 7 minutes away.
And the best sunsets you'll ever see at a concert, too.
100%.
Right? It's gorgeous.
Sometimes the best show. That's the best show.
Yeah, indeed. I can't wait for that to come back to full swing. Bill, a couple things before we get out of here. I want your Mount Rushmore of singers.
Freddie.
So that's 5.
Freddie.
Whitney Houston.
Etta James.
Wow.
Al Jolson. Boy.
Man, you got some soul, brother. I love it.
It's tough because there's so many. But, I mean, rock and roll's Freddie. You got Whitney, and Whitney was, R&B. Etta's the blues.
Al Jolson.
That's jazz. There's the start of jazz. No Al Jolson. No, you don't. There's none of that jazz today. Garth. No, because he's not that. He's just one of my favorite entertainers. That country realm. Who's got that he was that singer in country music that just Keith Whitley, that kind of voice. It's so hard to pick. It really is.
I love how you spread out I like how you spread out the genres. That was interesting the way you did that. Usually everybody just sticks to one genre when I ask this question, and you spread out the genres. That was awesome. I love that.
I can. I find myself. I'll throw on an Etta James record and just get lost in it.
Yeah.
Just get lost in her voice, and everybody knows At Last, but there's Aretha. Listen to some of that soulful Aretha stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just even back in and I'm getting into a lot more music than I ever have now, because I've opened. You get past that age where it's Metallica. You get past that, you just start opening up to to things you might. I'm more of a Pink Floyd fan now than I was 25 years ago. I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan. It's acquired taste, but that band and stuff like that. But asking a singer to it's like, man, I take a little bit for everybody.
That's smart.
Luther, just Vince Gill. Freddie's here. Whitney's here. Etta's here. Then there's everybody's kind of below for me, for my taste. Boy, I'll tell you though, this Adam Lambert guy. Holy cow! I just got the new Queen and Adam Lambert vinyl, and man, there's some times that you're just like the hairs will stand up. Just the notes that he hits, that you thought nobody but Freddie could do, but that kid's got some pipes.
That Netflix special is phenomenal. That video on Netflix,
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And a lot of those guys, he gets a lot of hate too, because nobody's ever going to be Freddie. But you're right, nobody's ever going to be Freddie. But if there's anybody that would embody what Freddie is, it's Adam.
Yeah,
it's Adam. And if Brian's saying you got the seat, then Paul Rogers, he belonged there too. He's a great singer, but Adam Lambert embodies what Freddie Mercury was all about.
No doubt. Great answer, by the way. I love that. I love your answers right there. How about what's a band that you'd fanboy over? Somebody that would that you'd choke up on. You'd be like, you wouldn't know what to say if you got a chance to meet him.
Oh, if I met I don't know what I'd do if Garth. If I ever came face to face with Garth, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I thought I would be that way with Paul Stanley when I met Paul, but it was probably because he was so nice that it was. But if I owe a lot to Garth Brooks. Weird as it says, Mr. Stars and Stripes, rock and roll yelling. If it wasn't when I was a kid hearing, Hard Luck Woman done by Garth Brooks, Kiss tune, that took me into country music. But Garth was so far what country music was supposed to be that, there's this guy with this big hat and these boots, but he's running around like it's a Kiss show.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it for me. And that was I tribute Garth with from my logo to the guitars I play to everything.
He definitely changed the game in the country world.
Yeah,
he did.
And his live shows are just that's the best live show I've ever seen. Ask me which one, and I'll say they're all the best. The Garth stuff, Kiss, those are the shows that you want to see. Metallica live is unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure.
But then I've seen opera. I've seen Pavarotti live. It's just your ears really? Stand up on your back in the day. I was a kid.
Wow, no doubt. Very cool, my friend.
You never know. You never kind of realized what path you took until you get older. Until you look back and say, "Wow, I listened to this stuff. Listen to this. I listened to this." I mean, I still this day throw on Debbie Gibson records. I love Debbie. I'm a big pop music fan, but. Everybody's hating on Miley Cyrus with this Metallica thing. She's metal.
Oh,
she always has been.
Yeah.
But just not the metal that you might not be. But she's a metalhead. Just the way she acts, shaving her head, being going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's metal is a being. It's not a music.
It's a rebellion.
Yeah. Lady Gaga, metal.
I was just gonna say Gaga too. She's metal to the bone too.
If we're talking to today's stuff that I listen to, Gaga, Rag and Bone Man all the time. Rag and Bone. Avett Brothers, I've been just wearing out the records.
Mm-hmm.
This is stuff that 20 years ago I'd probably throw in the garbage.
Yeah, for sure. It's important to open up your musical horizons, though. You have to. You gotta take a little bit of everything. That's where you get influence and inspiration from, is by listening to so many different things. As Gerbil says on The Sound of the Fury every Saturday night, if you open up your ears, your mind will follow. And it's so true. It's so true. And it's important to, you're not going to know if you like it unless you listen to it at first. You can't say, I'm not going to like it. How do you know? Because you didn't even listen to it.
As soon as you say I'm not going to like it, there's that thing in your brain that puts a wall up, and it doesn't matter if it's good or not. You're going to say you don't like it.
Yeah, that's true, man.
And then regional, locally, Colin Aberdeen. I mean, I can listen to Colin. I fanboy around Colin a lot, and he's such a nice guy. We've talked and stuff. But I had the opportunity a couple years ago to play on stage with Los Blancos for the Last Waltz thing. And to this day, it's one of the coolest things I'll ever do as a musician. Playing with your peers, guys that are on top of their game, welcoming in this guy that, who's this guy? Singing a Neil Diamond song from Last Waltz. Everybody had a great time. One of the great photographers here in Syracuse took a wide shot of me up there with them, and it's in my living room framed. It's one of my favorite pictures, and I'm not whatsoever a guy that likes to put pictures of himself on the wall. It's up there because Colin and Steve and Mark Westers are in that picture. That's why it's up there, not because of me. I get to say I got to play with those guys.
Super cool. Those Last Waltz were such a great time. The couple that Stacey put on, they were really, really cool.
When she asked me to do it, it was like Christmas.
Uh-huh.
It was like Christmas.
Yep.
Especially, being able to cover Neil, being a huge Neil Diamond fan.
Mm-hmm. Right on, brother. Hey, before we get out of here, plug your Halloween show and how people could check it out and how much it costs and all that.
It's free. We've
cool.
We've nailed some sponsors to take care of. We wanted to just make sure our costs were covered. Mm-hmm. We don't care about us. We want to have fun in the studio. It's Halloween night, 8 o'clock. It'll be on all of our social medias. It'll be on Subcat Studio social media. But if you go to Scars, the letter N, Stripes. Scars, N, Stripes. That's our main Facebook page. It'll be broadcast to there. It's going to be broadcast to my Twitch and all that stuff too. But if you go to the Scars, all that, and we also have some really special merchandise that we've come up with a fantastic local graphic artist, Matt McAfee, came up with these shirts, and it's the only thing I'm going to wear once I get it. They're the coolest looking things in the world.
They are.
You can go right on our social media and see those, and we've gotten into the mask business also, so we've got masks coming. But we're going to do something special with that money that we generate from the masks. We want to make sure that money goes to. I think we're going to do something with Let It Play, let the music play with that money.
Oh, cool, good. It's important.
I don't want to make money off of pandemic. That was my big thing about doing the masks. I don't want to make money off of pandemic.
Yeah, but then you go live too. You're going live tonight, correct?
7 o'clock tonight on my social media, and it'll be on Scars also. And then if you're a Twitch user, first time tonight, I'll be on Twitch. It's The Real Bill Ali. The Real Bill Ali. And I get that from the whole Ali thing, because I am the real Ali. He's not, I am.
So Twitch, do you have like a designated day that you're going to go on Twitch?
If I'm not playing out, it's going to be a Thursday night thing at first, because that's what we designated the Toy Room, live in the Toy Room.
Gotcha.
So at first, I'm still going to be broadcasting on both platforms. I have a program where I can broadcast on both, but I want to kind of step away from Facebook, because there's a lot better features on Twitch with interaction than there is on Facebook, and we don't know what's going to happen with Facebook.
Yeah, right. I know. I feel like Facebook's a dying platform right now. It's more of it's turning into MySpace.
It's turning into a pool of junk.
It is.
It's all people do is argue about the stupidest things, and stupidest things that you're never going to change. You're sitting there back, and I've been sucked into it.
Yeah. My girlfriend's
So
daughter.
I'm off of social media as much as I can.
My girlfriend's daughter said last night, she was like, "You guys are on Facebook? That's what grandparents are using." I was like, she put it in perspective for me. So yeah, it's good to switch up the platform and move on to other different video platforms. And, stop arguing politics on Facebook. That's my PSA of the day today. Stop it. You look stupid. Anybody,
Listen,
politics looks stupid on all of you, okay?
I don't care who you vote for.
Yeah.
As long as you're good to me.
Exactly.
Respect. That's it. I could that is the least of my worries about who's voting for who.
Right, exactly.
I tell you one thing. What I won't be watching tonight is that debate. I will find Borat is what I'm watching tonight.
You could. Oh, Borat's on tonight. The new one.
Borat. The premiere starts the same time as the debate.
And so you can watch the debate on Saturday Night Live. Anyways, it's going to be better.
I know it's better.
Bill, it's always great catching up with you, brother. I love talking to you.
I so appreciate it, man. I made the text to ask you to come on so I could talk about Halloween, and you were like, absolutely, and I really, really appreciate that.
You're my boy, man. Anytime, man, you want to come on. We always have great conversations, and we usually end up talking wrestling and every other thing.
And I was going to come in the studio today, but last night my daughter took a trip down the stairs, and I went. That's where I was coming from. I went and had lunch with her to make sure she's tougher than any of us put together.
Is she? She's doing okay though.
She's running around. She's already running around.
She's already running around. The resilience of kids, that's for sure.
I tell you, if it was me, I'd be under my blanket.
I hear you, man. I hear you. These bumps and bruises take a while to get over when we reach our age, right?
It's true, yeah. But it's the stories that are connected to them is what makes them worthwhile.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, best of luck on Halloween, man. I hope you guys kill it and get 10,000 views and all that. And you guys, and also when you see that little bastard Jimmy Falco, smack him in the back of the head for me.
I will. It's great. Now I got to do it twice then. Perfect.
We had this thing going for years. Like he was my little cousin because when I had long hair and he had long hair, we kind of looked alike. I don't know if maybe it's an Italian thing. I don't know, but so I've always called him Cousin Jimmy. He calls me Cousin Z. So tell him I said hello, and I actually like to get him on the podcast too. So tell him I'll be hitting him up soon.
It'll be a riot for the hour. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love that.
And we're going to be Jimmy and I are going to be at Sharky's next Friday, October 30th. We're going to do our duo there at Sharky's.
Hasn't he grown up right before our eyes? I mean, with Dead Rose, and now he went into Under the Gun, and now he's with you guys. Like the kid, he's probably in his 30s now, right? How old is he? I don't even know how old he is.
late 20s, early 30s. Yeah.
He totally grew up right before our eyes.
I remember when he was 12 years old with a bushy carrot top.
Yeah.
Playing Iron Maiden tunes with John Ferrara.
Yeah, ripping it up, bro. I remember him playing at the Electric Company, Dead Rose, and they were all kids. They were all still in high school at the time, too. And we would just stand around and be like, I can't believe when I'm watching these kids. I'm like, what the frig do you guys know about Ozzy Osbourne? What do you know about Metallica and Iron Maiden? And they would rip it up and just sound amazing. And I'm glad to see him out there still doing his thing.
Me too. I'm glad he's on my team, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure, man. The kid's a shredder. He'll always be a shredder. Yep. He's Jimmy McShreddy.
Yep.
For sure, brother. Well, one more time, check out Scars and Stripes on Halloween night live on their Facebook page and also live on Bill's personal Facebook page and Twitch. It's going to be a good time, so make sure you check that out and purchase some of their merchandise that they got. I saw the T-shirt. Super cool, man.
Yeah, we've come up with some great merchandise. Please buy it.
Please buy it. No, they are. They're really cool, man. Well, Bill, thanks again for taking time and hanging out with me. Let's do this again down the road really soon. And hopefully we could get to see each other in person and I can listen to Scars and Stripes right in front of my eyes, which I would really love.
I promise you the next time we do this, I'll be sitting right next to you.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Before we do get out of here, much love to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, Bill, when you're ready to move your toy store out of that house, have EJA move your toy store out of the house, the little toy room there at EJAmoving.com, 315-335-0516. Also, much love to my attorney, Dave Longaretto, who's been keeping me out of trouble since like 1997. Give him a call today if you need legal advice at 315-735-6162. Also, shout out to Utica Coffee and the Saranac Brewery. Yes, much love to everybody. I will be back on Monday. Local Music Monday continues with me and Justin Smithson, and our guest is Tommy Lamach. Lamach's going to join us, so that should be interesting. I'm sure it's going to be a high value in comedy. It's definitely going to be a comedy factor. So, yeah, son of a bitch is pretty funny. So, like, follow, subscribe to All Things Disruption Network on social media, and I will see you again on Monday. Peace.